Today I'm reviewing a 2007 Chevy Silverado Classic. This generation of the Silverado was sold from the 1999 to 2007 model year. Chevy also came out with an all-new generation of the Silverado in 2007, and the two trucks were sold side by side for that year. The older version being referred to as the Classic for 2007. Now the Silverado is also the mechanical equivalent to the GMC Sierra pickup. The two trucks are essentially the same, except for a few styling changes to the front end, rear of the vehicle, and then badging changes inside and out. The Silverado did see a refresh for 2003. With that, we get a revised headlight grille design, bumper design, tail lights at the back, and then a few interior changes as well. With this refresh in 2003, the Silverado is taking on a little bit more of the look that we saw in the Chevy Avalanche. Personally, I wasn't a fan of the Chevy Avalanche, and I wasn't crazy about the Silverado going in this direction, but styling is definitely subjective. You'll see that with the headlights, it's got kind of this aggressive downslope here to the grille. The grille itself is kind of split rather than having a single bar going through the middle. And then you'll see on the side, rather than these lights kind of wrapping around as we saw in earlier versions, it's got a pretty sharp cutoff. Bumper's got a little bit of chrome in it. We've got tow hooks down below, and then you'll see that we've got a slot here for fog lights in higher end trim packages of the Silverado. This generation of the Silverado was available in a base work truck, an LS package, LT package. They had a super sport model, and then they also had the Z71 off-road package, and this generation of the Silverado was also offered in a hybrid configuration. Essentially had start-stop technology, resulted in a fuel economy improvement of about 10%. You'll see, looking at the side profile of this 2007 model, the Silverado, it's essentially the same as earlier versions. So again, those styling changes that we see in 2003 are pretty much at the front, tail lights. You look at the side profile, it's essentially the same. So you get these plastic fender flares on this truck, as well as some plastic accent pieces along the bottom here with chrome insets. Given that this is a more basic model, the Silverado, it's got the black mirrors, black door handles, higher end trim packages. You're going to see those as body colored. This truck, of course, has a canopy added aftermarket. This little fuel cover is aftermarket, and we've also got the running boards added aftermarket. Also worth noting that these wheels, they are a Silverado wheel, but they weren't offered on the Classic model. These were offered on that 2007 and newer Silverado. So these were again added later on. This generation of the Silverado was available in a regular cab. This is the extended cab model, which has suicide doors at the back, opening on both the driver and passenger side. And then later years of the Silverado 1500 were also available in a crew cab model. Coming around to the back of the truck, again, we get these revised tail lights with that 2003 refresh. So a little bit more aggressive, modern looking than what we saw in earlier years. Bumper is unchanged. It's got a touch of chrome there. And then you'll see we've also got our tow package. Not a whole lot to see in the back, but give you a quick look in case you're curious. We've got our bed. This one's got a bed liner in it. Also worth noting that this has mud flaps added aftermarket. So that is a look at the exterior of the Silverado. Again, I really liked early years that we got with this generation. I'm not as crazy about the front end here, but again, that's all subjective. Looking inside the Silverado, you'll see that the interior's got a pretty nice overall look and layout to it. And despite this being a more basic trim package, it has a good level of standard options and features. One of my favorite things about this generation of the Silverado is that the seats are very comfortable, really good support, very plush. You'll see that we get power windows, power door locks, power heated mirrors. Driver's seat is partially powered. And then you'll see that this truck is equipped with the front bench seat. Gives us total seating capacity of 6. And then you'll see that this center console also opens up. We've got a pretty good amount of storage space. We get automatic headlights, electronically controlled 4-wheel drive system with an auto mode, as well as a 4 low and 4 high option. instrument cluster's got a nice clean layout. We've got a tow mode integrated into the gear shifter. This truck's got an aftermarket stereo. We've got dual zone climate control with heat and air conditioning. 12-volt outlet here and another one over here. Ashtray right here. Up above, we've got a self-dimming rear view mirror with a compass and temperature readout in the upper right-hand corner. Some storage space and 2 reading lights. And then we've got the rear suicide doors on both the driver and passenger side to access the rear seat. A little bit of storage space built in here. And if we pull this strap, the seat bottom pulls up, increasing rear cargo area if the seat's not in use. And then to drop that back down, just pull again to put it back into place. The Silverado is of course available in either rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and you have your choice of 4 different powertrain options. The base engine is a 4.3-liter V6, then we've got a 4.8-liter V8. The range-topping engine is a 6-liter V8. This truck has the most popular 5.3-liter V8, which has 310 horsepower. That's good for 0-60 time in the low 8-second range and an EPA rating of 13 miles per gallon in the city and 18 miles per gallon on the highway. Max tow capacity on the Silverado is 7,700 pounds, depending on configuration. You'll see that this truck also has an aftermarket air intake, which results in increased horsepower and fuel efficiency. Well, the Silverado is a really great truck to drive. It is very smooth, it's comfortable, it's fairly quiet for a pickup, and really within the full-size truck segment, Ford and Dodge and Toyota and Nissan have nothing on GM in this area. They really are superior when it comes to overall ride quality, just really great overall driving experiences. I'm also a huge fan of the powertrain options that we have available on the Silverado. The 5.3-liter V8 and the 6-liter V8 in particular are really solid power plants. They've got a ton of power and pretty good fuel efficiency for the segment. The only real complaint that I'd say that I have about this generation of the Silverado is that the steering feel's got a very light feel to it. It's very loose. You feel like you're constantly kind of adjusting back and forth to keep it in a straight line, and you can see that as I just tilt that back and forth, we're getting very little movement in terms of steering. They've fixed that in later versions of the Silverado, where it's got a much stiffer feel. Huge improvement in those later versions. You know, my one gripe in this generation, but there's still a lot of really great things about this generation. Again, great vehicle to drive. I'm also a huge fan of the interior that we get here. I almost like it more than the later generations, just in terms of the overall layout. And it really is a great truck for this era. Point onto the highway here, do a quick acceleration test. It's got a really great sound to it. I also love the exhaust note. I do think that the air intake in this truck is helping a little bit with that, but really there's nothing like a Chevy V8. So that's the 2007 Chevy Silverado Classic. Although I'm not that crazy about the styling changes that you get with the 2003 refresh, I otherwise think it's a really great truck. It's very comfortable inside, it's great to drive, awesome powertrains that are very powerful, fairly fuel efficient for the segment, and just a really solid truck overall. Definitely worth your consideration if you're looking to get into a full-size truck. If you have any comments or questions on the Silverado, leave them in the section below. For more car reviews, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.